Hello, good morning. Hello,
There, good morning.
good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Just give me a second. You're Shomila, right?
Shamaila.
Shomaila, oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yep.
Sorry, your name is?
Just give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah, my name is Venkat. I'll
Venkat?
be your instructor for this class.
Okay. Okay. What are we focusing on today, Venkat?
Today is a demo session, so I'll
Oh,
give you an overview of what this training is all about. What do we cover, and we'll see some basics of the training.
okay. And when is the next class, Venkat?
I'll give you all those details when everyone is on
Oh,
here.
okay, okay. Sure, sure. No worries. Thank you.
Right. I think I also have
And so,
Akshit.
yeah, in the meantime, do you
Yeah,
want to just
good
quickly
morning, Venkat.
mute?
Sorry.
Do you want us to keep us ourselves on mute?
That's fine.
Okay.
So yeah. Hi Akshit. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Venkat?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, good to hear that. Thanks.
Yeah. I have two more to join, so let's give us this all. This is still 2 more minutes left, so we'll wait for them. Are you both from Ontario?
Yes, I am in Brampton right now.
Oh, I lived in Brampton for 2 years or so, maybe 2 years back.
Glad. I'm happy to hear that you're no more in Brampton.
And that's yeah. Yeah. We have purposefully moved out of Brampton too.
You're lucky, buddy. You finally found your way out of Brampton.
Yeah, but we enjoyed our stay in Brampton too. So no
Yeah, I mean,
regrets.
otherwise Brampton is good, but especially the way people drive here, it's crazy sometimes.
You know what? When you talk about driving, I always tell this story to others. So when I was in Brampton,
Mm-hmm.
I paid almost $480 on my insurance, car insurance.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, when I moved out of Brampton,
Mm-hmm.
all the way it dropped to 250.
Where are you right now?
I am in Milton.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm paying 365.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, everything depends on what car you are driving and what's your driving history. But just by
Yeah.
moving out of Milton, I could save 200 on my car insurance. So
That's
isn't,
wonderful. You know,
isn't
funny thing, my contract renewed this January, and I have G license, and I'll tell you, until last year, I was paying 325, and
Mhm.
this year I'm paying 365. The reason being, I did no faults, like I had no parking tickets, nothing.
Okay.
The guy told me that you can check with any other insurance agent as well. The Brampton as a territory, they have increased the prices because of the number of
Correct.
accidents they've seen in last year.
Correct.
So
Correct. So
even
I
if you do
believe the
nothing,
claims.
you are still guilty.
Yeah. Yeah. That's again now. When you move to Scarborough, it could be more expensive. Yeah. In the area also has a lot of weight to calculate your insurance
Right,
costs.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hi Tajinder. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. 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 How are you?
Who's this? Shamela?
No, this is Venkat.
Oh, okay. Hi, Venkat. How are Oh,
Yeah. Hi.
yeah.
Hi.
I remember Mr. Sayyed, he took your name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. The fourth person I've sent invite little late in the night yesterday. I'm not really sure if he or she is joining the session, but now we have the audience. Let's go ahead and get started. I think it'll be good to introduce myself first. So, my name is Venkat, and I'll be your instructor for this BA course. And you'll have to bear me and my class for a few more weeks from now. I come with over 15 years of experience as a business analyst, working in working in different domains, primarily in the banking and financial part of the industry for a longer period of time. I come from India, and I worked as a business analyst for top technology companies in India. Then 4 years back, I moved to Canada, and then I continue to work as a business analyst in different assignments, or some are short term, some are long term. No, currently I am working as a full time business analyst in one Canadian company. So that's brief about me. So I've been training people on business analysis for over 4 years now. After I moved to Canada, I started this with Syed, and we are continuing together. So the way this course is structured is weekly there will be one session, instructor-led session, where I'll be giving you all the necessary tools, tips that you can use as a business analyst. And at the end of each session, excluding today is just being a demo to introduce you to the course and then how this is being conducted. Excluding this week, starting next week, based on the topics that we cover in that week, you'll have an assignment to complete. So when you submit the assignment back to me, before we begin the next class, we will review the assignment and see what best we can do on it, besides what you have done. When I say that, let me give you some clear picture here. Let's say as we move forward on our course, we will come to a point where we have to document business requirements. So when I say that, in the business requirement session, I'll cover what the requirements are and how they have to be documented and how do you understand them as a business analyst. And we'll talk about different aspects of this business requirements. So the assignment would be for you to document some requirements on the project that we are talking at that point in time. So when you document your requirement and send it back to me, we will review it. So reviewing is not about doing it right or wrong. The review process is only about making sure that you understood the process. Am I clear?
Yes.
So before the next session, so we will review that assignment and we'll discuss any doubts that you might have encountered while working on that assignment. So I'll be happy to discuss about that, and then we'll move on to the next topic. And similarly, and by the end of that week, we'll have another assignment to work on that topic. Probably maybe on week 3 or week 4, we will touch base on some user stories and use cases. So that week's assignment would be mostly on building a user story or writing a use case kind of an assignment. So what the general practice that I do is when I start with a project at the beginning, we'll talk about that project end to end throughout our class. So for example, in the first session, if we talk about stakeholder analysis of a particular project, say for example, if we start discussing about a project from financial industry, like a banking industry, so we'll continue that project until the end. So in a financial project, how do you understand the stakeholders, how do you identify the stakeholders, and then how do you document it, and then we move on to the business requirements. How do you conduct requirement analysis, and how do you document the requirements that you have gathered in different settings, and then how do you come out with a document is something that we'll discuss during requirements. And similarly, how do you understand the user stories and use cases for that project? So it will be more of a project focused input and training. Does it sound exciting to you?
Yeah, so far so good.
Yes. Awesome. So I also have, I'm sorry if I am pronouncing your name wrong, Titilayo.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Hi. How do you pronounce your name?
Titilayo.
Titilayo. Okay, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome to the class. We just started, so you didn't miss anything.
Oh, okay.
I was just
Thank
giving you, giving how this training session is organized and how it will how it's delivered is something that we are discussing. And please remember that every session is recorded. I after we complete the session, usually it will take about couple of hours for the recording to get be available on cloud. So when it is available, I'll share the link to your email ID. So only request is when you receive this link, my recommendation is that you download the recording onto your local desktop or at your local computer. The reason being because we use a shared account between myself, Syed, and other trainers in A to Z Consulting. When we run out of cloud space, we may have to delete some old recordings, and you might lose the recording link of the class that I shared. So to avoid that confusion or to lose any data, so I generally recommend all my students to download the copy of the recording onto your local computer so that you can refer to this video whenever, wherever you would like to. So that's the only request. And ideally, this whole training would take about 6 to 7 weeks. As I said, on a weekly basis, we'll cover a set of topics that are essential for any business analyst to be successful. And at the end of the session, I'll also help you prepare for the BA interview. So we'll also do some mock interviews. Yes, Akshit.
Venkat, just a quick question. Somewhere in between the course, are we going to do a project as well, or it'll be just understanding what a BA is doing and then just doing the small task?
So Akshit, this training is designed in such a way that the project that I'm discussing in the class is the same project that we'll be doing as an assignment week
Oh,
on
okay,
week.
awesome. Awesome. Okay,
Week on week. Say, for example, if we start discussing, I'll let you know about that. But once I know your background, it'll help me in deciding what project would make more sense to this group. For example, if we are talking about a banking industry related project, probably something about building an application for new credit card system. I'm just giving an example. So when we
right.
discuss about it, we'll talk about the project and we'll talk how a BA could work on a project like that. So week
Okay.
on week, when we complete discussing the topics that are essential for business analyst, that week you will be working on a project related to that topic.
Awesome. Okay,
So by
thanks.
end of the course, you will have an experience of working on a project end to end, but you will be working in a weekly assignment model. So in bits and pieces. So when you tie all them together at the end, so it will be a complete project. So you will have an experience of working on a project right from understanding the stakeholder till documenting the requirements to managing the testing process to doing some SQL querying on the project to change
Deploy.
management, etc. So it will be a total end-to-end coverage.
Awesome. Okay.
So at the end and the last session, I'll help you with the interview questions, preparing for questions and how do you answer them based on the projects that you demonstrate on your resume.
Okay. Awesome.
So you'll have I'm not giving you multiple examples. When it demands, I'll give you examples from other industries as well. That means we may go little off-road on the project that we are already discussing. We may have to go, let's say for example, while we are discussing about credit card implementation project. To make you understand better, probably I may take one example from retail, or maybe I may take one example from other technology industries to help you understand the topic. So we'll also touch on few other key elements, not just pertaining to our project in discussion. We'll see it on a holistic overall view on how you can use the tools and become a good business analyst. So that when I prepare you for the interview questions, you know how do you answer that question, or how do you answer that topic by combining your overall project experience. Make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. So I don't want, or I always tell this to my students, is that I don't want this to be a one-way communication, me speaking and you listening, but I want your participation in the discussions that we will see in the coming classes.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah. Any questions so far?
No?
So now the question is, usually for everyone's benefit, now because we are heading into summer and everybody wants to go out and enjoy the weather, take the opportunity. So just to keep that interest of everyone's in mind, I generally have these classes on Saturdays. On Saturday between 11 to 1 or 11 to 1:30, depending upon the intensity of discussion that we are having on that day. So, but I just want to know if that would work for everyone.
Yeah, I'm up for that. Like Saturday or Sunday, anything works for
Yeah,
me.
the reason why I do it on Saturday is once you finish the class, then rest of the week is all yours
Right.
and mine too. So
Yeah, that's a good idea because Monday usually you start getting the headache of
yeah,
studying.
say for example, if I have this class on Sunday evening, then if any one of you want to enjoy the day, so you always have this on your mind. Okay, I have a class in the evening, so I have to come back. Even if you go take your family out, you are compelled to come back to attend the class, or so what I do is I'll try to finish the class on Saturday afternoon. So from Saturday afternoon till Monday or whatever, the rest of the time is for the family.
A quick question, Venkat. Is it possible to have it a little bit earlier? Or
It is, but so far all my students have been comfortable at 11 o'clock. I can do at 10 as well.
Sorry, I'm just a morning person, but maybe not everybody is. But
Yeah, usually after you work for the entire week, probably you want to take an additional hour of sleep on Saturday. So
no,
that's
that
why I
doesn't
keep it
happen. The
to
body still
11.
gets up. The body still gets up at 7 in the morning, so it doesn't work. But yeah, if everybody is, I guess, at 11 o'clock, then that's fine. No worries.
Yeah, I also prefer the sooner I finish on Saturday, then I have more time for spending with family or for the self.
Well, that's it, because by the time we finish the class, we're going into lunchtime. So
Yes.
hence that's why I asked. But then if everybody is going to be comfortable with 11, then I guess that's fine.
Yeah, that's where I leave it to you to decide between four of you to let me know what time works best so I can organize the classes then. So, but please remember that when I have all your phone numbers, we'll create a WhatsApp group so that we can have the communication going on the WhatsApp. So during the week while you're working on assignment, if you want to ask me something, you can just shoot that question on the WhatsApp and we'll respond. And I can also communicate back with you on what's going on with that week's session, and if there is any preparation needed, I'll send you a message on WhatsApp. Is that also okay with you guys?
Sure.
Awesome. So
Yes.
you'll generally receive all these emails from an email ID, which is on A to Z from a Gmail account. So please have that added to your contact list or whatever, or look into your spam inbox if it happens to go to there. Probably it could be from the same email ID that you received this invite. And I generally make sure that the next class's invite would go out on Thursday or Friday. If it doesn't come, one of you can just send me out a reminder on WhatsApp group. So it could be just because it might have slipped my mind from my day job. Well, Well, so that's brief about me and the way these classes would get organized. And I'd like to know about you, a little background about you, so I'll have an brief idea about what uh, detail of topic that I should bring up, so that everybody is following the same way and nobody is left behind. So when I say that, not all of you could be from an IT background, might have worked in the IT in the past or may not, or are completely new into IT. So that will help me understand what level of description that I should be giving, so everyone understand the topic well. That's the only intention.
So I can go first.
Sure.
So, Venkat, I'm from India, and back in India, I worked with supply chain operations. I'm also a Python developer, so I have worked on a couple of different projects during my work back in India. So, again, I was working with project managers on EDI integration with SAP, which was just automating the entire sales order process. Then I also worked on implementing a business intelligence tool like Tableau. It was Board,
Mhm.
and just like that, a couple of other projects. But I never worked as a BA, though I knew what a BA is, but I never worked as a as a full-time business analyst. But I was playing roles at different levels in the entire SDLC. So
Awesome, awesome,
yeah,
Akshit. So that way, now I think you worked on the other side of the fence. So now you will be understanding how the things on the other side of fence are created on from this side of the
exactly,
fence. So
exactly.
so that way, so when I know this background, I'll have this on my mind so I can connect to some of the examples that you could relate from your work
Right.
experience.
Like I've seen the Gantt charts, I've done UAT testing and stuff like that,
Sure.
but I never knew how to connect all the dots. So when Syed shared those videos, I actually watched them, and then I'm a computer engineer as well, so I connected the dots. I knew about SDLC as well. So I connected all of them. They all started making sense to me because I've seen those things happening.
Yeah.
And that's when I felt, okay, so this is how things were going on. And I had no idea that, okay, all of these things are connected. But having said all of that, I had a pretty bad experience as well because most of the times the projects were never
On
fully
time.
implemented, or they even
Yes.
failed.
Yes, I know, I
So,
know, I know. So,
yeah,
so Akshit, it is like all these days we were watching a game from the gallery, so now you'll be on the ground.
exactly. Now I'll be in the crowd. So, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, this is Titi. My background is HR with oil and gas way back in Africa. And
Okay.
most of the projects I did was on a human resources information system,
Hmm.
basically on Excel and SAP. I
Yeah.
mean SAP.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I worked with a multinational called
Hmm.
Total Energy.
Okay.
So before relocating to Canada. But I got
Awesome.
interested in analytics.
Hmm.
That's why I'm here today.
Awesome, Titi. So
Thank
now
you.
we have two people on the two extreme sides. One, Akshit, who is creating what Titi can use in her day-to-day job. So now you are on two sides. Now you, Titi, being an end user, we can leverage on your end user experience, while we can
Okay.
leverage Akshit's experience on how this end user experience is created in the foreground, and the business analyst role, how would a business analyst would tie these two ends together, so it becomes a meaningful application. Awesome. So we have
Okay.
a very good combination of expertise here.
So,
Okay, let's move on.
Venkat, this is Shmaila. So I'm actually got nothing to do with the IT. Uh, I'm I have a hotel background. I'm actually from Pakistan, but I've lived in Canada for the last 13, 14 years, very new to Toronto. I was living in Halifax, Nova Scotia. I'm
Okay.
a qualified financial planner. And I got interested in BA basically because they had a vault system that they were building,
Mhm.
where again, it was connecting all the dots, getting all the information for the information to be saved in some iCloud in
Okay.
a vault system. So I've dabbled in that. I have been a business owner, and while I'm in Oakville, I work as an office manager.
Awesome.
But so I
Awesome.
want to broaden my horizons. I want to obviously, get a little bit more expertise. It's I think I know what I need to do, but I just need that, direction on how to get there now.
Great, Shumaila. So I heard Halifax is a very good place, beautiful place to visit.
Oh, it's beautiful, but it's it's very different from Toronto. Let's put it that way.
I know. Well, I think this is a good course for you to understand some bit of IT when it comes to managing your work in cloud space. So some of the examples that we talk in the class could also relate to the newest cloud technology or architecture. So that way you will be now more equipped in understanding how you can leverage this technical knowledge into your business.
Okay.
But
Venkat,
this will be more focused on IT related projects, Shomaila. So while I walk you through those topics, so if you feel if you need to know anything more, you can just stop me so I can elaborate on it and help you
Sure.
understand that.
Venkat,
Because I understand you're completely a non-IT, so sometimes it might go over your head. Just stop me
Oh,
there
it
so
will.
I can
I
help
will.
you.
I will ask. Even if stupid question it is, I will ask.
Yeah, thank you, Shumaila. Sorry, yes,
yeah,
I.
Venkat, you were saying that Nova Scotia is beautiful. It is, but like I also came here from Nova Scotia. I was in root area of Nova Scotia. It was Sydney,
Mhm.
but don't ever move to Nova Scotia. That's all I wanted to tell you.
Oh, okay. No, I'm only talking from visiting in the summer point of view, so not
Yeah,
moving there. Yeah.
exactly. Just that way it's good, but don't ever go that side.
Yeah, because I met one friend from Nova Scotia, from Halifax. He lives in Halifax,
Mhm.
but he works for one of the I think he works for WestJet in the Halifax area. So I heard some good things about Halifax. So I just somewhere in down the line I want to visit, take my family there, and have some good time and come back. Maybe a
Yeah.
week or so.
Definitely go to PEI. If you go there, go to PEI.
Yeah,
Yeah,
PEI is
yeah,
good, and Sydney is also beautiful.
Sydney's
Just go there for 10, 15 days, not much.
yeah. Thanks for that. So Tajinder.
Yes, so myself again is a non-IT background. Again, I did my BTech from Bangalore, India,
Mhm,
and mechanical. So
mhm,
I have an engineering background. Till today, I've been doing my business. I'm a mortgage broker here. Got most of the deeds clicked here. People know me with my
mhm.
name. And I'm entering into this field because I've got good connections back in US and here in GTA who are like
Awesome.
sitting at a good position.
Awesome.
They're
So
like,
all
I'm in a mid-age crisis now. Trying
that's
digital.
okay. Everybody passed that crisis, Tajinder. So no, the middle age is something like COVID, so it comes and
The
goes.
only interaction with IT was like back in India when I was in my own office.
Yeah. So
Did the
although
IT course from Bachelor's Manipal University, if you know about it.
yeah,
So
I know
that was a
Manipal University.
long-term thing, long distance thing. Just cleared the exam. Now I know nothing. Like, don't remember nothing.
Yeah, although you said you're not from an IT background, but your mixed experience from automobile, I mean
Yes.
mechanical versus your mortgage experience would really help me in getting some examples from that background while we talk about the topic. So now I totally understand. Each one of you has got expertise in different fields, and we can leverage all of it and make uh, discourse more lively, and we can leverage some examples from your industry or from your experience, and we can build on the conversation in getting the topics more clear and better. All right, so with those introductions, let me also ask you, do you have any specific expectations from this course? What do you want to learn from this?
So for me, it's a total new arena. So I've got no idea what I'm doing.
Okay, no problem. So we'll walk you through about that. So just confirm. I am trying to share my screen. So you just confirm if you are able to see that. Now this is just, I generally keep updating my content. So this is currently work in progress. So, but I'll share you all of this on an email so you can refer to it whenever you want to. And d- please ignore if you hear any background voice on this when I switch the slides. So just ignore that. But I'll share this. I'm just trying something new while updating this content. So this is work in progress, but I have completed updating this module that we'll use for today. So by next week I'll have this updated for the next session as well. So business analyst, let me ask you, what do you understand from by the word business analyst? What do you think this role does in an organization?
So, a business analyst will try to understand the requirements from a stakeholder in a layman terms, because a stakeholder will not be a techie guy.
Mm,
He will document the requirements and convert them into the information that a developer can use to produce the required product. So he basically acts as a facilitator between the development side and the stakeholder. That's to
awesome.
the best of my understanding.
Awesome. So any other thoughts on what others think a business analyst does?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was gonna say. That's what I understand, that my job is to basically get all the information, to convert it so that it works out. The project that I'm working on is conducive to what I'm hired for, and that I'm able to do the training. I know the responsibilities, how to collect the requirements from the customer, depending on the problem, analyzing it just to improve productivity for the
Mhm.
company. And Yeah, that's pretty much what I understood.
Awesome. So as you all said, business analyst is the key resource in understanding the business requirements and their implementation. That's what mostly the 90% of business analyst job is about. So just to give a fair idea about how an IT project is organized in an organization. So for the better understanding of others who've never worked in IT or new to this IT industry, is that uh, ideally now I believe everybody understands, today it's all about technology, right? So everybody everywhere now we adopt technology, right? So the technology is developed now for either use in the organization or for anywhere. So this, when I say this development includes building this application. Could be a mobile application, or could be a web application, or could be any other kind of an application with the use of information technology. So when I say that, now it has different levels of making this application work or building this application. So there are largely there will be two set of people in the organization. One is someone who understands business very well, but who doesn't know much about technology or how it is done. On the other side, you will have people who are experts in technology, but they hardly understand how the business is run on a day-to-day basis. Now, these are the two extreme groups in the organization, and who always have the problem of understanding each other, because generally we have our own perspectives limited to the expertise that we have. So typically a sales guy may not understand the technology well, while the technology guy may not understand how the business is doing on a day-to-day basis. To the person who is filling this gap is the business analyst. Now the business analyst also plays a crucial role in fixing some outdated processes. driving new technologies into the organization, adoption and innovation, making that is the reason why this role or this job of business analyst is becoming in demand role in every area of business, not in just IT industry, but everywhere, from consulting to product management to everywhere. Now, when I say this, wherever there is an implementation of IT project, there is a need for business analysts there, regardless of the scale of the project.
Hey, water. See water?
Did you saying something?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So primarily this course is designed to provide an overview of business analyst activities, the requirements elicitation techniques, and also conducting solution evaluation to optimize the solution that business is looking for. And as I said, in a business analyst career path can take the business analyst in multiple directions, but it all depends on the experience and what the future goal of the individual is. So this course would ideally provide all the necessary skills for someone to kickstart as a business analyst and have an endless opportunities for growth. Any questions so far? So business analyst uses the data just to outline the problems, opportunities, and the solutions for business, and then also report them back to the stakeholders in the organization. So when I say about this project, now let's say for example, organization has decided, say for example, here I'll take the best example of something that we all can relate to. I'm sure that everybody uses banking services on a day-to-day basis, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's say I am a new bank in the market. So that means I'm starting my banking business. Now, when I start this banking business, now given the today's challenges, I need to have some technology. That means if I don't have a mobile banking offer to my customers, now I'll not survive in the market. Correct?
Right.
Whether or not I have a fancy branch set up in the downtown of Toronto or any elsewhere, if I don't have a mobile technology implemented in my business, then I'll be out of my business. So that's what I understand. So here, as an owner of a business, here in this case, you can assume me. So again, just bear with me. I'll switch my roles during different classes. I'll keep switching my role. So we'll also have a role play. So here in this case, in this example, as I described, I am playing a role of an owner of a business who is running a banking business, right? It could be like as big as TD BMO, or it could be as a small bank which just started in the market. So I know my need that I need a mobile banking application, but I need to build this application for my own customers with some features that I want to add from the regular banking regulations, or I want to add some better user experience for my customers. So when I have this idea in my mind, so I know that I need to use IT as one of the partner or the technology for the implementation of technology. So now we initiate a project. Now this idea is becoming a project, right? So the project is building an mobile banking application. Now, when I say mobile banking application, now this is the project that I want to build to start up my business. So if you are the business owner like me, and if this is the idea, may I know where do you start with, or where do you start from?
Sorry, can you just repeat that again?
Now, if you are a business owner like me, like this,
Yeah.
where you want to build an application using using IT, and you want to build an application for your users,
Mm.
where do you start?
My customers?
Okay.
Business case?
Get you guys.
Sorry, someone said business case.
Yeah.
right? Now this business case is the project, right? So the description of the project is the business case. Right here, my business case now in this example is that I want to build a mobile application for my customers to do
Mhm.
daily banking transactions with my bank, correct?
Mhm.
This is a simple business case, but in real time, the business cases may not be this simple. They'll be a little complex, but that's okay. For understanding, we'll go with the simple business case. Now, this is my business case. Now, what do I have a business case. Now, what next?
I'll need some IT company guys to start.
You need a solution, right?
Yeah.
So now the business case is the business problem. Now, what is my problem? I don't have an application. That is my problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the solution? I need to build an application.
Right.
Now, who's going to build this application is the next step, right?
Mhm.
Now IT team in my organization, or if I use a strategic approach, I might find an IT company who is expert in building such applications, and then I'll hire those consultants to build a solution for me, right?
Right.
And all of this is executed in a project. So when I talk about project, I believe everybody understands what project is. It has a definite start date and it has a definite end date. Whatever happens in between these two dates is the project, right?
Yes.
Anything which has a closing date is called as a project. In otherwise, it's called process because it keeps going on. So I want my application to be built in next 6 months.
Right.
Agreed?
Yep.
So now my project is from, let's say I want to start it today and I have 6 months of time to complete it. So now that is the project that I'm talking about. So now we have a project. So now I have to build a project team, correct? Now, because I cannot spend all my day on monitoring this project alone because I have many other things to do, what I do is I'll hire a project manager. Now, what does a project manager do typically?
Manages the project.
Yeah, he will bring every single piece that is required for that project into the order and then make sure that component is built, that component is tested, and then he delivers it to business in a working condition, correct?
Correct.
Right. So now I have a project manager. Now I have someone who can take care of my project. Now I have the technology team who is capable of building what I am asking. And then finally at the end of 6 months, what I expect is an working software, correct?
Right.
A mobile application is nothing but a software. So I am expecting a working software. Now, whatever happens in this 6 months is is something that we are going to cover in our training. Make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I'll introduce a new role which is called stakeholder. Now, who is a stakeholder by definition? Do you
Anyone
understand?
who can affect or influence the project will be a stakeholder.
Perfect. So anyone who is influencing the project or anyone who gets affected by the project, right? Directly or indirectly. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Now, in this case, in the project that we are talking as an example, who do you think is the stakeholder? Major stakeholder.
Someone in the bank.
It can be a senior VP from the organization or
To keep it simple, in this case, it's me, right?
It's you. Yes.
okay.
It's me because it's my business, and if this project gets completed in 6 months, or if it doesn't get completed in 6 months, I am going to get affected. So here I is in the singular form as in person, but ideally, as Akshit said, it could be the entire department, right?
Right.
So if my project doesn't get completed in 6 months, the whole of my business will get impacted. So so the impact is on a large scale.
So,
So
Venkat, a
here,
quick question here, please.
go ahead.
Yeah. So, in the real world scenario, if we are working on the same project, we would be first of all doing a stakeholder analysis, right? We'll be creating a register where we
Okay.
will
Hold you
identify
hold
the
your
right
breath.
stakeholders, right?
Hold your breath, Akshit. We'll go there step by step.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So so now you understand I am the key partner or key stakeholder in this project, right?
Mhm.
But now, when let's assume that I want you all four to play a role in my project. Now, one maybe Akshit being a developer, I would assume he's playing a role of a developer. Now Titi is from HR, so I want her to play a role of getting the resources organized and or from a project management point of view, and Tajinder, you can be my partner or a business analyst or and who's left over?
Shumaila.
Sorry, Shumaila, and you can also be part of this project as part being a business analyst. Okay, I'm just giving these roles for you to understand what happens in a project on a large scale. So now, me being in a key stakeholder, uh, where was I when we talked about the roles, right? Yeah, now we have the team, right? No, team of 5 sitting together and talking about the application. So now, from a development point of view, so where do we start? So now you understand what the project is, what is it trying to address, and then you know who are the people in the project. Then what next do you think?
Requirement gathering?
Requirements.
Yeah.
So even before requirements, is there something that we need to consider?
Stakeholder? No, I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, so I would like to introduce in technical terms. Now you can call me a stakeholder,
Okay.
right? So for the benefit of everyone's understanding, we'll use the same terms. Now I am your stakeholder. Now you have the project team, and then we have the project in hand. We know what to deliver. We know an expected timeline. I said 6 months. I don't know if that is realistic or not, right? But as a team, do you agree that I have a clear understanding of what I want?
So it will be risk factors.
Sorry.
Would it be about risk factors, about pros and cons of the project we'll discuss?
We'll come to that a little later, Tajinder. No, on the 35,000 feet above the ground, as a
Yeah.
team, do you understand that what I want as a stakeholder?
No, not really, because you have just said that you need an application. But what you want and what you want the application to do is not something that has been defined as yet by you.
What do you want me to do then?
Well, I guess as a business analyst, is it my job to ask what you would like for it to perform?
Okay, so now now we haven't talked
Details, I
about the
guess.
business analyst role yet in this project, right? We just talked about some role definitions.
Okay.
So when we talk about business analyst, yes, why do you think we need a business analyst here?
Acting like a bridge between the final outcome and the need of the bank in terms of stakeholder, as you said.
Fantastic, you nailed it. So
You call me
business
Ricky,
analyst,
it's easy.
yeah, business analyst actually in real sense would act as a bridge between the business
Hmm.
and the technology teams. Right? In our case, I am the business person, right?
Right.
Because I am initiating the project, so I am representing the business division of the entire organization, right? When I say business, it's not related to technology, but from sales or attracting customers or taking the application into the market, etc. All that stuff. So when I say the technology team is in our example, Akshit, who is developing what I want and making those in real, right? Say for example, if one of my requirements on my mobile application is my customers ability to or I want to give them an opportunity or an feature where they can transfer funds from one account to the other account. Right?
Right.
Now, Akshit is someone who is making that transfer happen in real time. Right? So he makes sure whatever is needed for the money to get transferred from one account to other account will happen every single time when customer does it. Agreed?
Mhm.
Now, how he does, what he does, I don't care about it as a business.
You in terms like you as a stakeholder or
I
you
as a
as a
stakeholder, right? I don't care, right? What I'm telling my customers is my customers can transfer funds from one account to other account. Now, how it will happen? Akshit is going to take care because he is my developer from IT, right?
Right.
Now, in real time, it doesn't happen so smoothly. So we need somebody, but Akshit might come back and say, okay, this technology is not going to work for your requirement or whatever. He'll give me some reasons for not doing something, right?
Mm.
So there is always a vacuum between the business and the IT team in whatever sense. So we need somebody who can understand both sides of the coin. And that means somebody who can understand what business is talking about and also understand what technology is recommending. And marrying these two thoughts, I want somebody who can do it on a day to day during this 6 months of the project. So that person we call him as business analyst, who is acting as a bridge between uh, the business and the technology team. Do we have some clarity on what business analyst does?
Yes.
Fantastic. So now, if one of you is a business analyst, so what do you think will make you a good business analyst? Now we understand he's
Sure.
acting as a bridge between
Mhm.
the two, right? I'll skip this back. So yeah, what now? Since we talked, no, this is are the technical definitions of business analysis. No, it's a practice of enabling a change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to the stakeholders. Now, this is what briefly we talked in our case study, correct? So it is business analysis enables an enterprise to articulate the needs and the rationale for change and to design the described solution that can deliver value. The first two paragraphs is what we briefly discussed about our case. Yes? Any questions so far?
No, not yet.
Yeah, because I want. Now, we also understood who is a business analyst. Now, he's acting as a bridge between the two extremes of the business people and the IT teams in real sense. So it's stakeholders and the solution providers. A business analyst is someone who helps organization change, right? Now here I am an organization who is trying to make an application for a better customer experience, correct? So often acts as a bridge between business stakeholders and solution delivery team. So here the solution delivery team is, for now it is Akshit, and the business is myself, or the stakeholder is myself. And the others are playing an important role in the so what do you think do you think these competencies make sense for someone to become a good business analyst in the process of making this project successful?
Yes, I
Yes.
think the one that you're showing on the screen are very important.
Okay, so okay, I'll just walk you through on the brief of all this. Now, why do you think presentation skills are important for a business analyst?
So that he can present the solution to the stakeholders at the end of the project, and likewise he can share the thoughts with the development team as well. So
Awesome.
both the sides.
Yeah. So in the introduction, I said business analyst uses data, right?
Right.
They use data to outline the problems. Now, so whatever we discuss now is a problem statement in short sense. So business analyst will use the data. So that means you business analyst have to do some data crunching about how important this mobile application is for my business, for my bank, and the presentation skills will play an important role here in presenting the data or the problem statement or the solution to both business and the technology teams, maybe in a combined setting or in a separate setting, right? And likewise, since we talked about presentation skills, the communication skills are very important because you'll have to talk the language that that group of people understand. So if you go to technology team and talk in business terms, they may not understand anything. Likewise, when you come to business and when you come to me and explain me all the technology, probably I may not understand all that because I'm not a techie guy. Assume I don't have any knowledge in technology, but I am an expert in running business. So I know how to run business, but I don't know technology. So if you come and talk to me about technical things, it may not interest me. Right? So communication skills for business analyst becomes important for you to understand what the stakeholder needs and how do you convince the stakeholder with whatever the data or presentation that you have, and how do you use your communication skills to influence me or persuade me in moving this project ahead. Otherwise, me as a sponsor of this project or a stakeholder of this project might become a biggest roadblock in the execution of the project. Do you agree to that?
Correct.
Correct.
Although I have a business problem and I am looking for a solution, if I'm not convinced, I might become the biggest roadblock for the entire project. Because unless I understand why this technology is being used in the way that I can understand, I may not approve the needed budgets. Agreed?
Are ready to buy the stuff.
Or I am not ready to buy this solution and use it in real time. So the entire project is becoming jeopardized. So business analyst, because you are running from pillar to post in convincing technology teams on what business wants, and you're also running from the technology side to the other side in convincing business why they should buy this solution, you as a business analyst need to have a good communication skill, right? And planning skills, yes, of course, you are part of the bigger plan, or you are the part of the bigger planning process, because you understand what the business pain points are and you have a fair idea of what solution is being adopted to address that business problem. So your planning skills will also help or add value to the project on how do you prioritize the solutions for pressing business problems and not pressing business problems. Correct? No, I might have 10 business problems today, but what is important to me, probably I might rely on business analysts to help me understand what I should prioritize first and what I should keep things to the later. Right. So you as a business analyst will be part of the planning process throughout the project. We'll talk about it when we actually get into the methodologies that we are adopting on this project. Right. I'll explain you in detail how business analyst would help in planning in the entire project planning. We'll discuss in detail when we start talking about the methodologies. But from a competency or a skill point of view, do you agree that planning skills is important for business analyst?
Yes.
Yes.
And so the documentation skills, because 90% of times the business analyst's job is to document what the information that he or she gathers from different group of people, correct?
Right.
In an outer sense, the end of this call, the role of a business analyst is to document whatever we have discussed on this. Now assume this not as a training, but this as an problem statement call that you are having with one of the stakeholders. And on this call, what happened? I have briefly explained what my business problem is. Yes.
Yeah.
Did I explain what my business problem is?
Yeah, you did it at like in a very overview, like you just gave an overview, but you did actually, yeah.
Yeah. So by end of this call, what I expect or what is the job of a business analyst is to document this.
Right.
So you in some cases you call it as a business case, in some cases you call it as something else, whatever you call. End of this meeting, what is expected of a business analyst is a documented version of this discussion.
Something like minutes of a meeting.
It's not exactly minutes. Yeah, you can call it, well, minutes is also a form of document. Now why we need this documentation of what we are discussing today?
That we can make both the parties understand what exactly is.
Now, one of the reasons for
going to-
documentation is to maintain that consistency.
Consistency, yeah, to have the clarity of what is required, what is the required by both ends.
Exactly. Now, do you think I'll have the same thought process in the next 6 months to come during this course of this project?
No,
I might jump here and there, right? Because
right.
my mind will keep jumping. I might see something new in the 6 months and I'll come and ask you to do that. So you need to control or you need to have my thoughts channeled in a right direction as a stakeholder, correct?
Right.
So today I am clear. I am asking for a mobile application. Tomorrow in another meeting or a follow-up meeting, I cannot change my stat. So
Right.
to keep that consistency, so we need documentation. So the documentation skills is something very, very important for a business analyst, because the business analyst will spend 90% of their time in documenting the discussions that happen in different settings. Since this project has just began, you are only working with one stakeholder. But as this project progresses, there will be more stakeholders added to this project. So you'll be working with different people, different set of people in different contexts, in different settings. And then you'll have to bring all those conversations in a documented format. So everybody will have a consistency in what they are asking and what they are speaking all through the project. Make sense?
Yes.
Now, documentation is something that we'll lay more focus on in the future classes on how do you understand the stakeholders. No, he already said in the beginning the stakeholder analysis. Yes, you love to do a stakeholder analysis as a business analyst. And what do you do with the stakeholder analysis? You have to document it, right? So you can present, okay, you can tell everyone, okay, these are my stakeholders. We agree this project will have only these stakeholders and they will have a role and responsibility in the project. Not everybody have equal role and equal responsibility on a project. So you'll have to define who plays what role. Now, if you see in the beginning of this class, I gave different roles to each one of you, right?
Yes.
Now, that is what exactly you as a business analyst would do as part of your stakeholder analysis, which we will see in the next class. But now, on the other side of this, you have some soft skills, or like influencing skills, interpersonal skills, problem solving, and analysis skills. By that name itself, you can understand what analysis skills are, right? Because you are using data as a business analyst, you need to analyze the data, crunch the numbers, and make that data look meaningful to business, right? What is it I'm going to lose if I don't have a mobile application in banking business today, right? Does only banking application help me capture the business, I mean market share in this business, or should I also have a supplementary branch banking or retail banking services as well? So these are some numbers that I want my business analyst to work on and tell me what works good for this business, or for me as an organization, correct?
Right.
So for that, you'll have to have some good analytical skills, mostly about looking into numbers and arriving at some conclusions. What numbers are telling you, right?
Right.
And problem solving skills, yes, you understand what my business problem is today, and then you are working with the technology team in designing an appropriate solution for this problem. Now, if I am asking for a mobile application, you are not designing me a race car because we are fighting with time, right? No. So you understand the problem statement. I might have 100 problems defined in one discussion like this. I might come up with 100 problems. But you as a business analyst are analyzing what are my pressing problems. Out of this 100, what is it so important to me as an organization? And then how do you solutionize that problem? Right? What kind of proposal that you will bring? Discussing back with your solutions team, what kind of solution do you bring for this problem is something, the problem solving skills. And the interpersonal skills is about knowing yourself, understanding yourself, and then you change your uh, you know personality, or you change the way of your working style when you are working with multiple other human beings. Agreed? When I say that, your interpersonal skills will help you understand how do you work with an very aggressive, demanding stakeholder
Mm.
versus you as the same person working with an okay, acceptable stakeholder who doesn't have too many demands. How do you change your style with these two different personalities is something that you define in your own interpersonal skill, and how do you apply those interpersonal skills in working with a development team or a quality team or an business team like me, or you might work with some sales teams, or you might work with people even outside your organization.
Mm.
Now, how do you change your styles? How do you change your gears when you're moving from one meeting to other meeting, and you understand who is leading that meeting and what is his personality, and how do you change yourself to get that buy-in from that meeting, right? Now, so for example, you assume that you are working as a business analyst and you have 4 meetings scheduled in the day. So 4 meetings are different. 4 are with 4 different set of people. So you understand you are moving from one meeting A to meeting B, and you know the meeting B, the stakeholder is a very tough guy who doesn't agree or authorize so easily what you are presenting. So you have to prepare yourself, right?
Mhm.
You need to understand what makes this person convince. So that's for you to understand that your own interpersonal skill will play an important role in helping you persuade that tough stakeholder, right?
Something like being a good salesman.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
I said it's something like being a good salesman.
Um, the interpersonal skill is a topic by itself, so I don't want to get into the nuances or very detail about it. It's not just being sales; it's about understanding yourself and understanding others. In short, how do you understand other person in front of you and then mold yourself or change yourself so that you have the ability to influence and persuade or get influenced and persuaded with the best solution or best possible solution that you are discussing in that meeting, right? Interpersonal skill is all about how well do you listen, how well do you uh, comprehend the entire conversation, and what is active listening, what is passive listening, all that stuff. Right now, if something is going off the track, now how do you bring that onto the track so you don't waste your time discussing unwanted things, which is very common in a general meeting setup, right?
Right.
So and then influencing skills, yes, of course you should have, because you'll have to influence your stakeholders, you'll have to influence your developers, you have to influence the project manager, you'll have to influence every other person on the project. We will see how these influencing skills will come into play in different settings, especially when we talk about change management. You will understand why the influencing skill is important for a business analyst. And then of course the case tool skills and modeling skills. Yeah, because we are talking about a business case. So how do you document this business case? You need to understand what kind of a tool you can use in presenting the business case so well, so everybody can understand it. So we'll talk about those tools, and we'll also explore what kind of tools that you as a business analyst can use in bringing this project into live by connecting all the dots that are scattered everywhere. In real time, please be mindful that in real time, the projects are not as clear and open as we discuss on this class. They are all jeopardized, confused, haywire, everything. Now, not every day is not a Sunday, right? So you as a business analyst will have difficult days in your job. You'll have good days in your job. You'll have happy days in your job. So how do you understand them, and how do you use all these skills, and how do you use these tools in getting your job done and keep the project on track is your entire expectation of a business analyst and your deliverable. Although schedule adherence is your project manager's responsibility, but as I said, you are on the ground. Your project manager is not on the ground. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Any questions so far?
Yeah, Venkat, I have just one question from the requirement thing that we were discussing. So, you said we document the requirement so that the customer doesn't deviate from those things, right? So,
Yes.
once we document it, do we send a copy of it to the customer over the email and ask them to approve it, or how does that work?
Good question. So we'll reserve this question to the session when we talk about documenting the business
Okay,
requirements.
awesome. Okay.
Yes, there is a process, and it varies from organization to organization. So my organization may have a process which may require minimal bureaucracy or minimal approvals.
Mhm.
Some other organization might be very bureaucratic, and they require several levels of approvals. So how do you understand that, and how do you follow these procedures in
Mhm.
the project that you're working? And again, in the same organization, each project is different. So one project may have a simple process, the other project may have a complicated process. Now, when you're working on multiple projects at the same time, which is common these days, how do you organize yourself is something that I would park this question to the session when we talk about documenting requirements.
Awesome.
Either
Okay.
it get answered by itself when
Mhm.
we move along the course, or if not, then I'll be happy to answer this question when we talk about documenting requirements.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, there is a process to it.
Okay.
Yeah. And any other questions so far? Any doubts? Are we clear? And please tell me if this method or model of my lecture is okay to you.
Yeah, I'm very excited, Venkat. I can be very honest with you. So I'm very excited the way you're telling the things. And there's a bit of storytelling in it as well. So which really helps me to connect with the incident. So I'm actually enjoying it, to be honest.
Yeah. So one of the things that I keep mindful about myself is I try to take examples that every one of us can connect to.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the same project I can talk 100,000 feet above the ground using different technologies and all, but I don't do that because mobile banking is something that all of us are aware of.
Right.
So I'll try to keep as simple as possible, but I'm not going to skip any important topic that is necessary for a business analyst to understand. So please don't mind if I'm using small, simple examples, but that's the way I prefer.
And
Otherwise, I can
Venkat, do
also.
you think Python will be required at any phase? Let's say I start working as a BA,
Mhm.
and do you think I'll be able to use Python anywhere during my job profile, or it's something that I should stop learning anymore?
Yeah, Python, what is Python, by the way?
Like I use it for data analysts, like data analysis, like for pandas. I also use it for web scraping and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Or
Python is an software or a language that can be
yeah,
used for several purposes, correct?
exactly.
Now, you as a business analyst are working in a company which doesn't require data analysis.
Okay.
So, what do you do with Python?
Nothing.
Or you later you go into a project which uses a lot of data analysis, and that company uses Python for data analysis,
Okay. Yeah. That's where I can use it. Yeah.
right? So for you, in this case, having the knowledge of Python is an added advantage.
Okay. You
But
mean
for
I can
me,
mention it in my resume?
you should,
Okay.
and you
Okay.
should, in fact.
Okay.
But if I am hiring for my project, which doesn't require Python,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter me whether you are an expert in Python or not,
Okay. Right. Gotcha.
because I don't need, right? I don't need that skill. As an hiring manager, I don't need that skill,
Correct.
right? Now it is like driving a car. So I only look for your driving license. I'm not bothered whether you can drive an sedan or you're capable of driving an SUV or a race car or something, right?
Right. Right. Right.
It's simple. In simple sense, I don't need a pilot to drive a car.
True.
It doesn't excite me even if you have a pilot license.
Gotcha. Yeah. Correct.
So if you are having a pilot license, good. It's good for you. But
Hmm.
for me, for this project, I don't need pilots. I only need drivers.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so
Thank
this
You
way it
should be a
works.
good bridge
Correct.
manufacturer as well.
Now if you're applying for if you're applying for a job that requires drivers, now if you add your pilot license on your resume, what can happen?
you. Maybe they're just gonna take it as something that you have extra, but it's not gonna affect the hiring process. Like they're not gonna give me any added benefit just because of the fact that I
But
have a
I
pilot
may
license.
not even call you also for an interview because I feel you're overqualified.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay.
Right? Yes, because I know pilot has to go through a lot of data processing before landing or taking off.
Right.
For my drivers, I don't need that. So I have an apprehension that you might get into that pilot mode while you are in my vehicle.
Right.
So I feel you are overqualified. So you will have to decide as a candidate on what skills you will showcase for the job description that you're applying for.
Gotcha.
So to your question about Python, so should you show it on your resume or not? It very well depends on the job description that you're applying for.
Right.
So submitting a resume is not one-time job. It's not like one solution fits all the problems. When you are in a job hunting process, you have to edit or modify your profile to suit to the job requirement. Sometimes you may have to underplay, sometimes you may have to overplay.
That's true.
So there is no one single solution to it, Akshit. So you will have to, based on the job description that you are reading, you have to decide what skill you will put on your resume, what skill you will hide from your resume.
I got you. Thank you so
And
much,
it's a,
Venkat.
and it's a general process, and everybody understands that.
Yeah.
I believe TT can also acknowledge this from HR point of view that we only look for how much of your resume is fitting my job description. I don't care what else you have on your
Yes.
profile,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
if this is what I want and if you fit, I'll call you for an interview. Otherwise, I feel either you're underqualified or you are overqualified because competition is like that. Because if I open one job position, I might get 150 resumes and I don't have time to screen all of them,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I can also talk about how this resume shortlisting process happens from the way I understand. maybe in the classes to come. So you are aware that how you can edit your resume when you are submitting it for your job search process.
Right, right.
So any questions so far? Is this okay if I go with this pace, this kind of delivery? Are you comfortable, or
Yeah.
you want me to make any
Yes.
changes?
No, this is good.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So since we started with mobile banking application, we'll try to use the same example all through our class, but in somewhere in between, if I feel it is necessary to switch to a project to something that you can understand better, I'll use that flexibility as well, right?
Right.
But what I want you is, as a good student, I want you to think about this application over this week and come back with questions, a lot of questions. So now we defined roles in this project. Now you understand me as a stakeholder. Now I want you to think ahead of me. And in the next class, I want you to ask those questions that you would ask a stakeholder when you are a business analyst.
Sorry, can you repeat that question, Venkat?
Now I want you to think ahead of
Mhm.
me and then ask me those questions like you ask a stakeholder when you are a business analyst.
Okay.
If you are, let's say, if you are employed in a project that is currently building a mobile banking application and you are a business analyst, and if you see me as a stakeholder for this project,
Right.
what information do you like to gather from me is something that I want you to think.
Okay.
Right or wrong, it doesn't matter. I want you to think. I want you to get into the thought process of a business analyst.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Well, I would stop it here for today, and we'll talk the next Saturday, right?
Yes.
Right.
Saturday from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. I'll try to keep these sessions either 1.5 hours or 2 hours to the max, because I don't want to overload you with a lot of information in one single class. So I'll try to keep it to 1.5 hours or to a max of 2 hours. So I'll send the invite for next Saturday, 11 o'clock by Thursday or Friday. And if you can, please take down my mobile number.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, it's or I'll put this in the chat of this call chat so you can where is chat?
it's here at the bottom right.
Yeah, here. Sorry.
Do you want us to give you our numbers here too for you to have that
One of us
group?
can make the.
Yeah, so you can either one of you can create the group, or I can create the group. So we'll continue to discuss on the WhatsApp. So it happens like this. So when this recording is available and when I share it on the email, I'll send a message on the WhatsApp saying that, okay, now this recording is shared with you, so you can check your emails and download it. Or maybe when you have a question about assignment, you can just shoot that question in the group so I can respond back. It's for communication. Okay, so we'll stop it here, and when this recording is available, I'll send it to your emails as well. Oh, I don't have your I have your email IDs, right? So that's where I've sent you the invite. So I'll send the recording to those to that email IDs, and then we'll look forward for the next class.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Venkat.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Have a good weekend.
You
Talk
too.
to you
too.
next
Bye,
week.
guys.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye,
Just
guys.
a question, Venkat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where are you from? Back in India?
I am from Hyderabad. Hello.
So you-
Venkat, do you like biryanis?
Yes, I do a lot. Hyderabad is known for biryani.
Right, right, right. One time we were planning to go to Hyderabad, but unfortunately we couldn't make it that day. But I'm still waiting for the day when I'll ever get the chance to taste Hyderabadi biryani. So
Yeah,
God
there's a
knows
lot
when
of
that day is gonna come.
lot of authentic biryani joints are available today, and
Yeah, right.
you can try. So
Yeah,
there's
definitely, definitely.
yeah, so yeah, I think Hyderabad biryanis are now also available in Toronto. So
Yeah, no, no, I'll definitely explore some places.
good, 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 good. Yeah, it's a good place to see.
Yeah.
I've been
Or
once to Jedimetla.
oh, GD Metla is yeah, one of the biggest industrial what do you call industrial areas in Hyderabad, where there's a lot of pharma and other manufacturing industries set up there. And I miss Hyderabad, but I'm visiting in June, so I'm excited for my upcoming travel.
That's awesome. Awesome, like it.
Yeah, good. We'll get to know each other more
Yeah.
in the future classes to come, and I look forward to really seeing you develop as a business analyst.
Are
Thank you
you
so
going
much,
to
Venkat.
are you going to send this, Venkat, in an email of our discussion today? A
Uh,
recording of this, or
yeah,
that's
usually the recording of this will become available in the WebEx cloud by end of today, by evening or so. And
will
when
that
it is,
include the slide that you were actually showing? We didn't get to see all the pages, just to, or if you could even share the slide.
yeah, I'll also share the slides. As I said, I'm working on
Okay, sure.
editing some of that. When it is ready, I'll share the slides with you as well. But when I share the recording, I think the screen that I've shared will also be part of that recording.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys. Talk to you next
Thank you.
week.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.